What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys will help us get there. And I do want to bring this up. It's getting harder and harder for YouTube content creators to be found on YouTube. So if you do enjoy our content, please hit that notification bell and subscribe to our channel. It's basically the only way that you'll be able to see when we drop a new video on here. But I'll go ahead and I'll start on Season 2, Episode 4 of The Mandalorian. There has been so much controversy with this show that I think a lot of people are really turned off with it. I'm not one. I've actually really enjoyed this season. But, you know, it's kind of sad because I feel like we finally got something that was special about Star Wars. And somehow this 21st century 2020 lifestyle has somehow tried to ruin it for fans, and that kind of sucks because, you know, you got the Pedro Pascal comments, you got the Baby Yoda controversy, you got the woman that plays Cara Dune, you got all of that controversy that goes on where everybody's just hating on it online, and I think it's really kind of swaying people that are normally would be for this show to really be turned off by this show and to hate it just to hate it at this point. I see a lot of Star Wars fans that this is really becoming a problem with. I'm not one. You know, if Disney's going to make a great thing of Star Wars, a great show for Star Wars, I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to call out the bad. But I'm not going to just hate Disney Star Wars for the sake of hating Disney Star Wars. Like, I'm just not going to do that on this. I'm not going to do this on this channel. Lance isn't going to do this on this channel. If we see a good product, we're going to tell you about it. We're not going to be partial to any one show or hate one show because of any other reason. Good quality is good quality. Bad quality is bad quality. And that's what we do on Rants or Us. We tell you what we think. But anyways, I'll go ahead and I'll start on telling you the things that I enjoyed about Episode 4. The Razor Crest. The scene with Baby Yoda on the Razor Crest trying to fix, where the Mando's trying to get Baby Yoda to fix parts of the Razor Crest with the two wires. I thought that was such a funny part. That was one of the only parts of this show that I've actually just sat there and chuckled with because, like you've got Baby Yoda, he's holding this red cord and this blue one, and Mando's like, whatever you do, just plug the red into the red socket and the blue in the blue socket, but don't put them together. And the very first thing Baby Yoda does is, then electrocutes himself. That was funny. That was actually funny. Yes, I know it might be cheesy, but it's funny. I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the relationship that Baby Yoda and the Mando have actually been shown on screen to have. Has been so much better this season than what it was last season. Last season, he was just a babysitter, and we got to see some cool things with Baby Yoda, like when he picked up that animal. But besides that, Baby Yoda was just kind of a baby. You know, there wasn't really anything. We knew he's force sensitive, but we didn't get to really see too much of his personality too much. And he was just cute, I guess, for cute's sake. But this season, there's been so many little moments where he's just, you see his personality, you see the relationship between the two, and it actually feels like co-stars interacting with each other. And it's really just fun to see. I've enjoyed it. But, Baby Yoda sitting there sipping that porridge with Mando, I thought was just kind of a neat little scene. But I also enjoyed when they stopped to get the Razor Crest fixed up on Navarro, seeing the IG droid statue in the background. That just shows the CGI from this season compared to last season. And I don't know about y'all, but the one thing that I've enjoyed about Season 2 the most is the stuff that's in the background that maybe no one would hardly pay attention to. But it's just been like, I'm always looking instead of the what's going on screen, I'm looking at the background to see what else is going on in the background. Like in certain cities, you'll see like the ships taking off, and then on this one, you see that statue that's in the background. And I thought that was actually kind of really cool. The IG droid. I actually kind of miss that IG droid a little bit. He was actually a pretty interesting character. And then when I heard the word Marshall, the first thing I thought about was the guy from episode 2 of this season. Turns out Cara Dune is the Marshal on Navarro, and I kind of have mixed feelings on that. I like her character. I like when she's talking and interacting. She's one of my favorite characters on this show. I feel like they should maybe put her more front and center, but I worry about with all the controversy that goes on with her, they're probably not going to do that. Though I do hear that there might be rumors of a spin-off with her, which I would watch completely and totally. Like, I enjoy her character. To me, like, you just see like that UFC kind of way about her when she fights and stuff, and which is kind of interesting from, especially the way the Mandalorian and all these other characters in Star Wars fight. So, I mean, it's kind of unique, but it's fun to watch. Anyways, I feel like another funny scene was Baby Yoda at that school. They put Baby Yoda in this classroom while Mando goes off to do his mission for this episode. Baby Yoda, this boy is eating this like I think it's macaroons or something like that, and sitting there eating some kind of like little thing like that. And Baby Yoda just keeps looking at him. The boy is being a jerk, not giving him one. So Baby Yoda just uses the Force and pulls it over. And that was kind of a cool little moment. Shows what Baby Yoda is actually capable of. There's also one thing that I think they're trying to play into the movies. When they get to that Imperial base on this episode, when they see the life forms that are in the tubes, the clones that are in the tubes, they really start looking like Snoke. And so I wonder if we're seeing the beginning creations of basically the Snoke project, which I guess they're meant to try to house Darth Sidious, but I enjoy getting to see those in the background. Like at first when I watched the episode, I had to pause it and I tried to make it where it was a little bit bigger where I could see, but it looks just like Snoke in those tubes. It looks like a bunch of little Snokes. So I'm kind of interested about that. That's got me more interested for seasons to come, to see exactly where they're going with this and see if they're progressing the Mandalorian to what we saw in the new sequel movies. So I enjoy getting to see that little part. Let's see what else. It just kind of almost makes me wonder, even on that topic, because you see the scientist that was in the first few episodes of season 1, and you hear him talk about the baby, basically, Baby Yoda, and I wonder if Baby Yoda was either supposed to be the vessel for Darth Sidious. Because, Darth Sidious, the thing about Darth Sidious would need a body that would be able to hold his essence, basically, his strength, his strength with the Force. And a normal body, just wouldn't hold it. So he would need somebody strong in the Force like a Baby Yoda to be able to, to survive, or at least long lasting. We got to see a little bit of that in the sequel series where that, the body's all falling apart and, your clone body just isn't actually able to withstand the power that's within Darth Sidious. So I wonder if that's going to be the whole mission from now on, is to try to find out the real reason why the Empire is wanting the little baby. And I wonder if it has to do with maybe either the Baby Yoda Baby Yoda's blood with the test subjects that were in the tubes. With the blood, with his blood, and trying to create something that's could house Darth Sidious's body, or Darth Sidious's essence, or is Baby Yoda supposed to be the vessel in himself, and that's the reason why they're so interested in it. So that's something that is kind of a little cool thing about it. But at the end of the episode, you got that New Republic officer really giving a lot of backstory on Cara Dune, and that's another thing about Cara Dune that they've actually fleshed out a little bit more. She's not just this former Republic soldier now. Now she's, they tell a little bit. They tell that she was on Alderaan. They tell that she lost all of her family, and she lost everything when the planet was destroyed. And then that pilot throws that little New Republic insignia thing down on that barrel, and she goes to pick it up. So I just wonder if she's going to be actually joining the New Republic here in the next few episodes or in upcoming seasons. But I will say this, when it comes to The Mandalorian, they have successfully given Star Wars fans the bad guy that they deserved, the villain that we deserved in the sequel series, and that's Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon, even though he hasn't showed up a lot on this show, there's his presence just in the background reminds me a lot of Darth Sidious in the background and Darth Vader in the background. He would have actually, the sequel movies would have actually really benefited if they had a character just like Moff Gideon in it. He is going to be probably, and I'm going to say this right now, I'm going to say he probably goes down in history after this show's over as probably one of the strongest villains in Star Wars history, at least the most villainous of the characters, maybe even surpassing. I would even go so far as say maybe, for newer generations, hopefully, maybe he'll even surpass like Darth Sidious. I know he's not force sensitive, or at least we don't know he's force sensitive, but he's just got that way about him, kind of like Admiral Thrawn did. Like, he's just got that presence, that smart, that intellect to be able to just go out there and conquer and create. And we know that he's not just over the Empire, but he's going to lead it into the new era that leads into the sequel movie. So I'm actually kind of interested in seeing if he survives season 2. I hope he does. I hope he goes throughout all the Mandalorian, because I would love to know more about Moff Gideon. I'd love to see him in more episodes. He's just got that presence about him, that presence. You just feel the villainous aura around him. I enjoy every scene that they have with him. And him creating that super robots, those super robot troopers. Now, I don't know if those super robot troopers has anything to do with the with Baby Yoda and Baby Yoda's blood, or if these are like some kind of robots that kind of have like a force potential, are able to go against force users. I don't know, but they're gonna definitely play a role. Probably gonna play a role in the Ahsoka Tano episode, because she's gonna need somebody to fight, and that's one thing that basically that'd be really the only person with Ahsoka Tano's ability that would really even pose a threat to her. I can maybe see her maybe at the season finale facing off against Moff Gideon with the Darksaber. I could see something like that, and that would actually be really kind of cool. Unless Bo-Katan maybe takes on that role. But anyways, that's the good. Now, as far as the bad that I saw in the show, Cara Dune, the fight scene, while I do enjoy her fight scenes, that particular fight scene at the beginning of it I thought was a little bit cheesy, simply because they have guns. It almost kind of reminded me of Walker, Texas Ranger, where he goes, you have all the guys shooting with the guns, and then you have Walker just coming in there and like, no, I'm just gonna walk up to you and kick you in the face. Like that kind of reminded me of that with the Cara Dune fight. While I didn't hate the fight, I just kind of got that feeling about it. I'm like, she should have gone in there with a little bit more firepower, and that would have been a really cool scene to start the episode off on. But I kind of just like, they can't have just characters being shot at, bad guys shooting at characters and constantly missing. Like it's to the extreme in The Mandalorian. I know they tried to make a joke with it in the last episode, but it's actually turning from less to a joke to something that is a weakness of this series. Another thing was the reemergence of that Mithril. That guy that plays that Mithril, I guess he's supposed to be like some kind of comic relief, but he's just really annoying to me. He whined the whole episode. I didn't enjoy it. Supposedly, he's like, the only way Grief could get him to do something was like, well, I'll take years off your sentence if you go and do this. And I'm like, kind of let's get rid of this guy. Like, he didn't play a very good role. He's not very good comic relief. Save that for Baby Yoda. That's the way I look at it. Let's see what else about this episode. Okay, the base on Navarro. When it comes to the stormtroopers, okay, if you've got something so important as a cloning facility, for the Empire, you would think that would be more heavily guarded. I did not enjoy, and I guess it was supposed to be like a cool scene when they get up to the base and you got Mando flying up there and taking out the stormtroopers. But look, when you've got like 4 stormtroopers just out there and guarding it, it looked empty. It looked empty. And of course they go inside and they find a lot more. And then again, you see stormtroopers in this little alleyway that for some reason shoot that way, and that way, but cannot shoot straight. It almost kind of makes you wonder why you would ever leave any of these guys in charge of protection, because the only way that they could hit anything was to accidentally do it. So that part actually, like I said, that's getting me less of a comic relief and more just annoying to see when you see the good guys hitting people in the heads every time that they shoot, but yet you see the bad guys just completely missing everything. That kind of got annoying to me. Another thing, midichlorians making a comeback. That was something that I hoped that they were going to get rid of in the prequel series, but they made a little callback to it about the strength of the midichlorians and Baby Yoda. Not a fan of that. Never been a fan of that. I thought it was stupid in the prequel series. I thought that was one of the worst aspects of the prequel series. To try to explain the Force in such a, I guess a biological way. I kind of felt like I personally was not a fan of it. I know many other Star Wars fans weren't either. So I kind of hated that they have now made that into canon again. I kind of wish that was something that they just completely and totally left out. Another thing was, and I enjoyed the chase scene when they're trying to get away in that transport vehicle, and you had all those speeder bikes right behind them. Those clones, if they're bad at shooting, they're even worse at driving. Like, I didn't understand those stupid clones. I mean, I call them clones, but I guess they're not clones. They're just regular people now. They're like, they point to each other and they say, "Hey, you go on this side and I'll go on this side, and that's how we'll take them down." Well, there's a canyon there. What did you think she was going to do? She was, of course, going to just slam into them and then kill them that way. Like, I just thought, what a dumb move that would be to do. To actually try to do that in real life. And I get it, it's not real life, and they were going for a cool effect, but I just felt like it just didn't make any sense from a strategic point to do that. And another thing was the TIE fighters and all those other kind of things trying to shoot the transport thing. And again, you have this, this narrow space, but yet no one can hit anything, even in the TIE fighters. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. You just got to be kidding me. Like, these people are supposed to be trained in this, but yet they can't. Yeah, but they can't even hit something that really would be hard to miss at that point. But yeah, there was that. Another thing was when they said, they were going to explode that base. And and while they were going to go explode the base, it supposedly had 10 minutes to get out of there. Well, Mando, while they're trying to get out of the base and while they're trying to get away from the Empire and all that, these stormtroopers and whatever, Mando's like, no, you know what? I'm going to get my kid from this babysitting place, and then I'm going to bring him back and then get on the Razor Crest and so forth like that. And I'm like, you just kind of left him there? Like, just his firepower alone, he was taking out every single one of these these troopers and these stormtroopers, and yet he just kind of leaves them there. And I'm like, what was that about? And I guess I could say, well, it's so that he can do like a good, ending scene, where the Razor Crest comes and saves the day. And I get that. But I thought, it's kind of a douchey move to just kind of leave them there. Just kind of like, hey, y'all find yourselves out of the base. I got to go pick up my kid from babysitting place. I was like, that's kind of stupid. Another thing that bothers me about this show is the vagueness of the New Republic and the Empire. Of course you've got Mando not really knowing anything about Jedi. And then you also have the New Republic and the Empire kind of, I guess, sharing space. The way that I guess they were trying to make it out is people of the core worlds were not really don't really believe that the Empire is really going to pose a threat to them or any kind of thing like that. So I guess they kind of leave them alone. Like they're like some kind of distant sect that really isn't, of any consequence anymore. I kind of thought that's like, they're so vague. They're so vague. Like, I wish that they would show more effort in being like, okay, the New Republic, they've got this space taken care of and they're protecting this space. But it kind of just feels like in The Mandalorian, like the New Republic just really doesn't have any control over anything. And it just kind of leaves that vacuum open for something like the Empire to just swoop in and take over everything. Which I guess we kind of see that in the sequel series. Like, they never really explained that in the sequel movies. Like, they never explained how the Empire was able to just come back and just take over everything again. They said, well, they built a Death Star, but how did the New Republic not really even know that they were building that? Like, it was just so many questions, but so little answers on that. But yeah, that's the way I felt about that. I was disappointed. I thought for certain that this would be the episode that Ahsoka Tano showed up. And so, we're still on Ahsoka Tano watch. And I'm kind of disappointed because now we're well past halfway through the season and we still haven't even seen the most talked about character for season 2 yet. So I'm disappointed by that. I wasn't expecting to see her I wasn't expecting to see her in episode 1. But I was expecting to see her in episode 2 or 3. And now we're going on episode 5. And, hey, we hadn't even seen Boba Fett again. So I don't know. I guess they're saving up everything for the finale. But I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to wait till season 3 to be able to see all this, I kind of wish that they would have maybe expanded on a little bit more, added more episodes this season. But yeah, there's that. And, okay, the Death Watch. Mando has never really had that come to Jesus moment when it comes to the Death Watch. Bo-Katan kind of brought up about him being a child of the Death Watch. or the Watch, I guess they call it on this series. But there's no inner conflict there. It seems like no desire by the Mandalorian to know more about his past, about the sect of Mandalorians that he's a part of. So I mean, there's so many little things about his lack of curiosity that really upset me. It really makes him kind of a side character when he should be the main character that we all care about. But right now, you know what? You could kill the Mandalorian off, and or Mando off, and I just wouldn't really care. I don't think most people would care. Them not allowing him to take his helmet off has just made that whole character just feel like, he has like 3 lines throughout each episode, and so I just don't care about the character. And I wish that, I'll say this: for this show to progress for the rest of season 2 and season 3, they're gonna have to make him more. They're gonna have to put more of a focus on Mando and make him into a character that we all can relate to. Right now, we can't. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, overall, like I said, this episode was probably to me the worst episode of season 2. But still, I would give it like a 6 out of 10. Like it wasn't bad. It was just compared to the other episodes of the season so far, I felt like it just wasn't. It didn't live up to their standards. But anyways, guys, that's my take on it. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Y'all take care.